Good morning, everyone. It's Lori Staley, Addicted Stamper with Stampin' Up, and it is Thursday morning. I cannot believe it is July 8th, but it is. And it's 10 o'clock, so it's time for coffee and cards. If you're on, give me a shout out, a like, or a love. Let me know you're here. See if I can adjust this just a tad. I don't know. I feel like I'm straight on my desk, but I look really crooked on my screen, right? Let's see if that helps at all. Nope, I think that made it worse. Try that. We're not gonna fuss. Okay. Good morning, Ashley. Oh, that's a little better. That's a little straighter, I think. How are you today? All right, now I have to remember because they've hidden the share button for me. Yeah. Haha. I found it. I logged in this morning and they said they're making changes to the pages and everything. And I'm like, I don't understand. I don't know what they're doing. It's just a bit crazy, right? Hopefully everyone's having a good week. All right, I got that shared over to the page. Hi, Marlene. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. Okay. I don't know. Are the temperatures going to break today? My crazy cats, I let them out yesterday and they never came in. I'm like, you have all that fur and you're in that heat. You're crazy. But the water's right inside the door, so I guess they're okay with that. I don't know. I do have a lot of shadows today, huh? I don't know. When we rearranged the room to put the flooring down, I think things got wacky, and this is the first day I've really been able to get back into my space. So I'll have to work on that because I do see a lot of shadows and I'm not really sure why or where they're coming from. So hopefully it's not too bad. Hey, Sharon. Good morning. Hi, Donna. Oh, my goodness. Thank you for sharing, ladies. I appreciate it. We are going to play with the basic borders today. Yeah, cats love to bake themselves. I believe that, Valerie. I couldn't believe it. And I kept like going upstairs and going out to see if they were still out there so I could shut the door, because the air conditioning and the electric company love that the cats are on the porch. I've been taught them to open a doorknob. You know, if I had French handles, I had a cat when we lived in our first home, that he would run and jump up and unlatch the French door handles and come into the room. So these guys aren't quite that talented, but maybe they could be taught if I had a French door handle on the outside. Who knows? All right, so first of all, let's talk about the designer series paper sale. Still going on, still fabulous. I played with a couple of them in today's project, so I'll be showing you those. But don't forget that 8 of the 9 are on sale for $9.78. And then that In the Good Taste, which is a double pack, is on sale for $17.85, regularly $21. So make sure you take advantage of that. It does run through August 2nd, so you still have some time, but I'm going to keep reminding you because there's nothing worse than going, oh, I'll do that later. Oh, I'll do that later. Later comes, you don't do it, and guess what? Then it's gone. So I'm going to keep reminding you of that. Also, speaking about designer paper, I will be announcing my paper share for the August through December mini catalog that will be coming out. That'll be coming out probably next week in my newsletter, and you can reserve your spot on August 3rd when the catalog goes live for everyone. I will be ordering all the papers, so I'm looking for you to reserve with payment your spot by then, so that I can get those here for you. And it'll be like, for the basic, it'll be like over 90 sheets. I think it's like 96 sheets, if I remember correctly, of paper. And then we'll do the add-on or the plus again, so that you can get some of those specialty papers. So yeah, so in the basic, you're going to get 2 6x6 sheets of every pattern of the new papers, not the returning papers. And then you'll get one of every specialty, 1 6x6 of every specialty paper. Again, not returning, but ones that are new in this catalog. And the silver foil is different. I don't, you guys don't know that yet, but yeah, the silver foil is coming back, but it's going to have a different look to it. So I'm excited about that. All right, so that's coming. Watch your newsletter for that. Bingo, still taking reservations or registrations, I should say, for bingo. A couple people have mentioned they had a problem filling out the form. Let me know if you do. I think it was requiring a second address line. I don't know why I didn't ask it for that. So if that happens to you, you can just put your street address in again. It's really just for me to mail you all the goodies when bingo's over. So make sure you check that out and get registered. It's going to be live on YouTube. So I'm hoping to have a lot of you join me. No special need for Zoom or anything like that. And we're going to have fun. But we do need a minimum number to play. So please, if you're thinking about it, go ahead and get registered so I can get product ordered. Okay. All right. I think that's everything I have to share with you today. 2 more days if you're interested in the paper pumpkin all about adventure. I think I posted a link to that. My goodness, probably a couple weeks ago now. But if you're interested in that paper pumpkin, you have 2 more days to sign up to receive that as well. The deadline for that is the 10th of July. How is it July? How is the year half over already? I don't understand. They, you know, when I was a kid, I can remember my great grandmother saying to me that, oh, as you get older, time goes fast. Well, boy, she wasn't kidding. It really does go fast. Okay. Oh, wait, one more thing. The cards that we made, that fun pinwheel tower card that we did Sunday night, and then this pretty card where we used the strips of the hand penned. The winner of these is Betty Ling. And Betty, I think I saw you pop on. I did, yes. So you are the winner, my friend. Congratulations. I will pop these in with your Just cards and get those off to you. So congratulations on that. And just because I only showed you this once, these are the Just cards for this month. And there will be an in-person option for that. I think that was in my newsletter. I truthfully can't remember the date, but there'll be an in-person. So there's a little bit more stamping on these than I've been doing for the last 1.5 years, just because we couldn't meet in person. But even if you're long distance, I tried to use some stamps that weren't necessarily new, right? Our cute little back on your feet sloth here is so cute. And that's a perfect card for a man. The colors are perfect. That's the Simply Elegant paper behind there. And then it's just a little bit of a fun little fold there because I cut this short so that you could see that vanilla underneath. And then of course the strawberry. Whoops. Hey, what are you doing? How did you come loose? That's not supposed to happen. Let's put that back on there. The strawberry, which I'm sure most of you or a lot of you probably have, is also part of that. And then everything else really is a die cut with or an embossed folder that will be done if we're mailing these out to you, with the exception of your greetings, right? So those are, well, I guess I need a new, that's weird. I guess I need a new gem. So we'll get that fixed. Okay, so moving on, I think we're ready to stamp. How about that? So the first part we're going to do, I focus on the basic borders, as I said at the beginning, and I also focused on Elegantly Said, just because I know when I first saw this, I went, well, it's going to make great wedding cards, but what else can we do with it? And I've had a couple people say that to me since the catalog was released. So we're using on the first 2 cards, we're going to use the Elegantly Said stamp set. And then the last card is a Christmas in July card for you. So, and then here are the basic border dies, right? And we've played a little bit with these. I think just maybe last coffee and card or before, I can't keep track. We used one of the basic borders in here. And of course, this is the die that I created the cloud stencil with when we did the catalog launch. And there will be an online catalog launch coming up for the new catalog. So stay tuned for information on that. Those are always so much fun. And I get to show you guys all kinds of product. Speaking of that, if my box finally arrives, I kind of went astray. Um, we may do an unboxing on Sunday night for Come Stamp Along With Me. So we may not actually do projects. We may do a unboxing, but I will let you know. We'll see what happens. All right, so we are using Blushing Bride and Gray Granite as our colors for this pretty card. Now, this is a beautiful thank you card no matter what the occasion, but this would make a really nice gift in a bride's colors, right? You could actually make her up 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, whatever you wanted, thank you cards in her colors. So think about how you can incorporate your creativity and your stamping with gift giving, right? Because I know thank you cards, I mean, and sometimes they buy thank you cards, but sometimes they don't buy enough. I know that sounds crazy, but these would make beautiful thank you cards. So that's what we're going to work on today. We're going to leave that sit there. We have 2 pieces of basic white, one for the inside, of course, and then the one that we're going to stamp all our images on. This is going to be our background layer. And then I've gave myself an extra one in case I mess up. Do you guys do that when you're cutting? Do you cut an extra just in case? I know I do. So we're going to use this cute little stitched, I don't know, what do you call these? It just went right out of my head. I don't know, but this cute little stitched pattern. There we go. That's a good word for it, right? On this particular card. So the trick on this card, and the trick on the next card especially, when you're trying to do layers like this, is to determine what depth you want or what width you want between your 2 layers, and then cut your cardstock accordingly. So if I wanted a 1/4 of an inch difference, then I just figured out how wide I wanted this piece, and then I made the next piece down a 1/4 of an inch less. So that's a little tip. And then I always line these up so that I can line them up again on the next piece. I'm going to line it up with the straight edge, and I'm taking notice, if you will, of what I'm doing on my ends, because we want those ends to be as close as possible on this particular project. So that looks pretty good to me. Now we're going to bring in that magical tape, which I already have a couple pieces torn off. This is my Post-it note tape, and we're going to make sure this doesn't slip and slide on us. And if I would have thought, this is a perfect die to use with the mini machine, but unfortunately mine's on the other side of my table. So I'm just going to bring it over here, make my sandwich. Remember, never run a straight die through straight on, right? Twist it, angle it, whatever, because it helps to keep it from warping. Not that it won't warp at all, but it won't warp nearly as bad if you're not running it straight through. Come on. Thank you. I'm going to see if I can do this. Well, I have to take that pink off, don't I? Without taking my tape off, because then I can just make it line up the way I want. And I won't have to retape it, but I'm hiding a peek here. So let's see if I can bring this over. And here, I'll show you another trick here as soon as I get this tacked down. I want to make sure, you know what, let's do this way. I want to make sure that I'm lining that up so that we have the pattern. So to do that, I'm going to make sure that all my peaks and valleys are aligned. And that looks really good. So I'm just going to bring that back down so those tips are right on that edge. pull this out. I do love these dies. They make some really fun patterns. Or they're great as standalones too. And again, it's one of those dies in the die section of the catalog in the back that we don't necessarily see because we're so used to looking at dies being paired up with the, and then you could actually hang on to that and use that as an accent somewhere. I'm not going to today, but you could. That's the piece that we cut out. It doesn't look like I'm going to need that because we did it right. We got it. All right. It's actually fairly easy once you understand that concept. Now do make sure, of course, that you have the stitching, the front of the stitching. We've got that lined up. We're going to go ahead and stamp next. And I'm going to bring that beautiful image in from the Elegantly Said, and I'm using the Blushing Bride. So we have Gray Granite and Blushing Bride. I'm going to ink that up. Now I took the stamp to the, or the ink pad to the stamp because it is a larger stamp. And I'm going to start at the bottom and put this down here. And it's okay if it goes off the edge a little bit, not a problem. Isn't that pretty? I love that. And I really, really, really wanted to make this be a symmetrical border, but I didn't want to take the time with my Stamparatus and do the reverse image stamping. So we're just going to do it like this. And I think it looks pretty anyway. It looks like a continuous scroll. Okay. Very pretty. Now we're going to bring in our edging. We have Gray Granite ink as well. And the thank you comes from that Simply Elegant set. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. Now, even though I know I'm going to be stamping with you, I like this suite too a lot. I never remember to get my cleaning pad ready. Hey, Nancy. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, it was one of those I wasn't sure about. And that happens, right? It happens to all of us. Oh, I'm not sure about that. I can tell you that my mother says to me all the time, you know, I didn't want that set until you stamped with it. Well, guess what, guys? It happens to me too. I want to make sure the stamp is mounted straight. Oh, and it is. Look at that. So that we get it straight on our card. But it really is very pretty. And I love the greetings in it. It has some of the nicest greetings in, and the font too, right? So it has the thank you, the for you, all the things you do are simply amazing. Happy anniversary, which we're always looking for happy anniversary stamps, and then true love stories last forever to go on the inside, or vice versa. That could absolutely be on the front of your card. And then wishing you a wonderful birthday. So very nice greetings. Now we're going to mount this to our Gray Granite, and then we're going to pull some of that metallic twine from the Simply Elegant suite. Did you see that in the catalog? That's kind of hidden, I think. But you get silver and gold metallic twine. So of course, we're going to use the silver on this project. And we are going to wrap this around here. And I'm not really so concerned where my knot lands, but I am going to tell you that I have reached that wonderful age where I'm getting arthritis in my hands. So I have to cheat when it comes to tying a bow or even a knot on the card. So I don't know if you saw what I did. I laid my take your pick tool down in the center of that glue dot and I rolled it. And now I have a rolled up. Oh, can you see it on there? Probably not. I have a rolled up glue dot. So if you don't want the glue dot to be as wide as it is, you can do that. So now I just have a little glue ball there. And the reason I did that is because my fingers don't like to hold the ribbon in place, or in this case, the twine in place while I finish the knot off, right? I'm also trying to not waste a ton of this. And I think we're just gonna go with that. Scissors. So this is a really good trick because now I can press that knot there and I don't have to try to hold it. And then I can just finish my knot. I could even make a bow on there if I wanted to, but I think that might be a little, sure, I can finish my knot. It is a little stiffer than ribbon to work with, right? And then that will also hold that in place going forward. So there's a little bow tying trick. I think I showed you that in a Tuesday tip, probably a long time ago. You know, I always say when I start something new, and this was like when I started reading, my God, love my mother. And she told me the other night, she's been doing this since she was young, young child, or I don't know if she was a child, but young adult, but she's an avid reader. There's nothing like my mom will have 3 or 4 books going at a time. I don't know how she keeps the storyline straight, but she does. But anyway, she has written down every book she has read and she has them in notebooks. I would love to know how many cards I've made in my lifetime, how many videos we've done together. I think that would be huge, right? So there we go. We have this pretty card. We're going to just put this on and then we're going to add a little bit of embellishment and we're going to put our inside in. But yeah, if you have problems holding everything in place when you're tying a bow, give that little glue dot trick a try. And you can do that same thing with tear and tape. You can roll that so that it isn't as wide if you need it to be smaller width. As a matter of fact, Ashley, I think you showed that in club one time, didn't you? If I remember correctly. I'm gonna trim this off just a little bit more. I don't want those real long tails. There we go. All right, and then our inside piece. Oh, guess what? I should have held on to that pink because that's what I did on the inside of this card. Of course, I leave it blank, right? So you can write your message. And there are obviously stamps that you can use for the inside of thank you cards. So if you don't want to leave it blank, you don't have to. Now for this, because there's no way I can get tear or seal on there and not tear it. So we're just gonna do a little bit of Tombow. And I left just a little bit of a white border down there. And the benefit of Tombow is if it doesn't land exactly where you want it, you do have the ability to slide it before it dries. Okay. this brings the outside of the card in. And if you wanted to, you could layer the gray granite on there, or you could have just done the gray granite. I kept the inside soft. All right, so there's project number 1, showing that particular pattern from the basic dies. Ah, okay. All right, so we're going to move on to project number 2. And of course, for liking, commenting, sharing, and loving the video, either during the live, wait, I forgot the pearls. Oh, please. Gotta have the pearls. But I mean, this would make a beautiful thank you card for a bride in her colors, right? And the cool thing is, now I'm using the pastel pearls because I absolutely love them. But the cool thing is, you could customize our basic pearls to whatever her particular colors would be if you were gonna make this as a little gift. There we go. Now it's complete. All right, so we're gonna move that box and bring in the next one. Yes, so like, love, comment, share. Sharing is really helpful, guys. I can't tell you how helpful. And if you're over on YouTube watching the video, share it there, copy it, share it on your page in Facebook. All of that helps me out a lot. Okay, how about this cute card? I love this. You know what? After I made this card, I went, oh, there's a pocket. To make a gift card holder, make it into a pocket. All kinds of fun things you can do with that particular pattern, but I absolutely see a pocket on there. And of course you can make it much smaller, you know, to make it more of a normal size for a pocket on there. And then again, I just brought the flower on the inside because this is a You're in My Thoughts. So this pattern, anybody know which DSP that's from? We have a soft, succulent card base. I'll let you think about that and give me an answer. This is 4 1/4 by 11, of course. Go ahead and stamp our flower. And again, this comes from the Simply Elegant set. This is a really cute, hey Connie. This is a really cute set, or cute flower. And it fits very nicely in some of our layering circles. So we're just going to put that down here. This is crushed curry. Lay that aside for a minute. Now I did use, I'll show you, from the basic dies, I did use this particular pattern. Okay, and I don't think we've used this one yet. So trying to give you ideas for all of them. I did go ahead and do the die cutting. You guys know how to die cut, right? No, it is not from Simply Elegant. It is not, although it could be, but the colors are a little off for Simply Elegant. This is from In the Wild. And this is one of the papers that's on sale. It's the one with the big cats. So it does have cats on one side, but then it has patterns, if you will, on the other side. And I absolutely love this pattern because it's got Evening Evergreen, Soft Succulent, Crushed Curry, and Berry Vanilla. I don't know about you guys. I'm a basic white girl. I have Berry Vanilla. It's in my stash, but I rarely use it. And I'm always excited when we have a designer paper that causes me to go use the Berry Vanilla and reach beyond what I'm always grabbing, right? So yeah, so I have this already die cut. And again, I'll go back and reiterate what I said previously. So I've got 3 layers here and they're all die cut. And all I did was say to myself, okay, what border do I want, right? And the border I wanted was 1/4 of an inch. No, I'm sorry, 1/8 of an inch. So that's what I did. I made every layer 1/8 of an inch bigger. This one, I decided the back one, I wanted to be 1/4 of an inch bigger. So that's all I did to get the pattern. And then again, down at the base, right at the bottom of the cardstock is where I laid this. So each one came up the width. Does that make sense? Am I making sense to you when I say that? All right. But I do see that in order to do that, I did want to make sure I was perfectly in the middle, and I forgot to erase a couple of my pencil marks. So let me take care of that. And I think we're good. Got it off of everything else. Yes, I did. Okay. So we're just going to layer those together. As soon as I figure out, oh, I thought I was done. I put the cap on my seal and put it away. So Evening Evergreen with a layer of Very Vanilla. I'm going to get that lined up. And then this is the pattern on the back side. So you can see that's kind of the animal print on that side, but then we have these real pretty flowers, lotus flowers. I'm not sure what flowers they are. We've had that conversation. All right, now before I go ahead and mount that on there, which would be the next logical stop, let's stamp that, because you know, if I mess it up, I can flip it inside out and use that side as my layer for my inside layer. You guys do that? All right, so we're going to stamp that. I am going to lay this on here so I get my spacing right without mounting it. It looks pretty good. Now we can mount this. So you can see the basic border dies really help you make some cool cards, but they don't take a lot of time. Now, granted, I did the die cutting before I came on, but you guys know it doesn't take long to die cut. At least something like this. Now, if we're doing a lot of detail, I always think it takes longer to die cut a stamped image because you want to get that perfect alignment, right? All right, and then I've got the layering circles, brought those in. The layering circle dies, that's soft succulent. Here's the piece we're going to repeat that stamped image on. That again was in crushed curry. Yeah. I get going and I forget to do that kickback and it catches me every time. Get that centered on there. We're going to pop that up with some dimensionals in the middle of our card. I haven't taken the time to put my lines on I put them away after I'm done and then I forget until I pull them out in the next video. I'm like, oh yeah, need to do that. So that I know which ones I've taken the backings off of, right? Put that in the center. And we can go ahead and mount this on the inside now. You guys are quiet this morning, huh? Okay. And then we're going to add a little bling. Every card needs a little bling. That thinking of you, by the way, or you're in my thoughts, by the way, came from Encircled in Friendship. This is another really great greeting set. I can't tell you how much I've used just a note to let you know that someone thought of you today, which would be perfect on the inside of this card as well. These flowers are beautiful, both the single stem and then this grouping. And then because of you, you're the best. Each day's a little brighter because of you. You're in my thoughts with heartfelt thanks. And in a world where you can be anything, thank you for being kind. And then this is the circle dies with all the beautiful lacy edges different patterns, right? We use these at the catalog launch as well. All right. So, boy, look at my holiday rhinestones. Aren't they a mess? It's because I use them all the time. We're going to add some of the little bling here in the gold. And, you know, I'm always, oh, there's a big one. I'm always using the big ones first. So we're going to put a big one up here, right under the flower, maybe. If I can get it to cooperate. There we go. And then we're going to use some of the smaller ones to accent the greeting. I always try to get the spacing the same. There we go. What do you think of that one, guys? Trying to keep up with taking notes. Oh, God love you. I really like that one. I love that paper. That pattern paper is so pretty. All right. So I promised you a Christmas card, right? Okay, Facebook is doing something funny. Just 1 second. There we go. So let me put this one away. And again, sharing cards that I make today for liking, loving, commenting, and sharing the video, even if you're watching the replay. So if you weren't able to join us live, no problem. You can still have a chance at winning those cards. Yeah, I do like that paper. Okay, so we are going to play with Evergreen Elegance. This is actually the bundle. This has the tree line punch, right, which is amazing. And this is what we're using, or you will be using to make the bingo cards, the projects from bingo. There's 5 projects with that event. So, and then I also, okay, so this one's coming back. You all knew that from before. And so I pulled the Happy Christmas out of this onto this card. So what I did here is I grabbed the other brick rack. It reminds me of brick, was it brick rack? I think it was brick rack. No, brick rack in sewing. Hoi. And I don't even think it exists anymore, but back when I was still sewing, it did. So it reminds me of brick rack trim. But I used it on all 4 sides. I started with the sides and then I aligned it as best I could. It is not as symmetrical, even though you would think it is, but it was not. So we have a little bit bigger end up here than we do down here. Unless I draw your eye to it, I'm not sure you would necessarily go, oh, wait a minute, that's not symmetrical. And then we did this on the inside. So real pretty card. Use of the red rhinestones. They're always big this time of the year. And even though they are red, they work with the cherry cobbler paper, which is the paper I have here. And of course, our Tidings of Christmas paper is one of the designer series papers that's on special. That's nice. We're going to go ahead and mount our piece. And then we're going to wrap our gold metallic. That's the fine art. I think it's called fine art gold ribbon. So this has the pine on one side, and then the other side is Sahara sand with snowflakes. And I did just cut this a regular layer, like you would if you were layering up your cards. I was really glad that this ribbon carried over because it's so pretty. It has that metallic bling in there. there is more gold ribbon coming. So I'm very excited about some of the ribbons that are coming. Those of you that are long distance to me, please let me know if and when, because you know it is always an if and when the catalogs start arriving. And it should be not only the August through December catalog, which I think still says July through December, because remember that was the plan this year. But because of issues getting inventory in-house, they decided to delay the launch until August. But it should be that catalog as well as the celebration catalog. They packaged them together, which I thought was brilliant. We wondered why they didn't do that the last time. Okay, so we have that. That is our background. And then we have our cherry cobbler layer. It's going to go right there. And here's the piece that we're going to be stamping on. So, oh, good. They're all here. I'm like, oh, perhaps. So you've got 3 different trees in this set, and they're really nice trees. I mean, they're very realistic looking. You have this spray of pine, and then you have some great greetings, and then you have this shadow stamp that you can stamp under any one of the trees. Now, usually when I design the projects, I make a list and then I go back and I pack my boxes at a later time. And for some reason, I did not do that this time. So I'm looking for a block that I can put this on. We're going to try that one. I think that'll work. So we're using the tall tree from the set. And I am using Evening Evergreen. And you know what? I'm going to stamp Happy Christmas first, because if I don't, I will not get those trees where I want them. So let me grab that stamp. Grief, the blocks are laying here. I must have pulled them out of the box. Okay. It's going to be a great Thursday. Oy. The red is cherry cobbler. And it really is funny, at least for me, maybe not for everybody, but for me, the designer papers, etc., dictate what reds I use that season, right? That Christmas. So I don't know that we had any real red last year. I can't remember. But I know different years we've only had real red for the holidays in the designer papers and we've only had cherry cobbler in other years in the designer papers and the embellishments. So that's kind of where you tend to work with, or what you work with. This year I think we have both, so that's exciting. So no matter what red you like, we got you covered. Okay, so we're going to start by stamping tall. And then we're going to come down here and do short without re-inking. So I'm getting the generation stamping, the off stamping, whatever your phrase is for this kind of stamping. I re-inked it without thinking, so I came back. And I'm going to have to do that one more time because I need another one right here. Isn't that cool? Looks like a forest of trees. It gives you dimension. So it looks like you've got trees behind and you've got other trees in front. I love that technique. And again, we've added that designer paper that's on sale right now. So we did the die cutting on that, but otherwise, this has no die cutting on it, guys. This is another quick card for you to create. And we're going to pull in our piece for the inside. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to go ahead and get our greeting stamped. May the beauty of the season bring you joy and warm memories to cherish throughout the year. Get that mounted straight. Although I think I remember this stamp. I'm gonna see if that's straight because this stamp and the label didn't. I'm not sure I lined it up appropriately. Let's just say it like that. That looks pretty good. Okay, now my hair is falling out, and actually I think it's on my stamp. It is. Okay, let's try that again. It's hard to stamp away from you and get it straight. I hate to tell you, and I know I'm moving it down, but hopefully I'm still on camera. That's not too bad. We'll take that. We will take that. And then we're going to do that same effect on the inside with the generation or off stamping. And you, of course, always start with your full strength, and then you can automatically go into your generation or second step. So the little front we're going to put on with dimensionals. And then we'll add some red rhinestones to that. So far we are loving the flooring, except that I did learn yesterday, depending on what shoes you have on, you don't turn as quickly, which you would think you would, but you don't turn as quickly on this flooring as you do on carpeting. And I turned, or I should say my knee turned, but the rest of my body or my foot did not. And I wrenched the heck out of my knee, and it is still sore today. So note to self, maybe I don't move quite as fast as I normally do. All right, so that is straight. And then we're just going to bring in those red rhinestones. They make the perfect accent on this card. Okay, we're going to use scissors because my take your pick tool that I've been using has walked away. Just going to randomly scatter these on the project in the trees. You could put a lot more on here if you wanted it to look like you had red Christmas balls on the trees, but I kind of liked the accent. And again, I have 5 of them going on here. Again, keeping those odd numbers staggering heights as well. Okay. There we go, guys. That is project number 3. So we have those are the 3 projects. All of them used the basic borders. And of course, these 2 used the Simply Elegant stamp set. That punch, as far as I know, is still on back order, but that Simply Elegant stamp does bundle with a punch. So if you're interested in that, I don't even think it's orderable, but I will check on that. Okay. All right. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, and comment even after the video is over. And I will enter you into the drawing to win these 3 cards. Maybe it'll be your first Christmas card. Who knows, for this year. And remember to look for that registration for bingo and sign up to come play with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've got really great cards to share with you, Christmas projects to share with you. And of course, there'll be, wonderful prizes as well. So, all right, guys. Hey, thank you so much. I'll be back Sunday night. We'll either do a sneak peek or we will do, or an unboxing video, or we'll do come stamp along with me. Just watch my page and you'll know what's happening. Have a great week. Talk to you soon. Bye. No.